this is just going to be a quick review of a book that I've read this month, which is Lindsay Kellock's Always a Bridesmaid. This book is about a girl called Maddie who, as the title would suggest, is frequently a bridesmaid for her friends. She has a bit of a situation going on because one of her friends has just announced that she's getting married on the same day that their other friend announces that she's actually getting divorced from her husband. So puts Maddie in a bit of an awkward situation. I would imagine that going through a divorce is quite stressful at any time, but probably don't want to be surrounded by people who are all happy and loved up and yay, we're getting married. Would imagine that it would bring up quite a lot of upsetting memories for the person that's getting divorced. And for the person that's getting married, I don't know, I'd feel a bit like I was upsetting them and rubbing it in. So yeah, I don't envy her. Maddie is a events planner, but she works for an awful person who seems to come in, flit around, do the least amount of work and then takes all the credit whilst putting Maddie down. She's been in the same position at work for 10 years as an assistant when really she possibly should be aiming a bit higher, but she's always being put down by her boss and doesn't really have much self-esteem or self-confidence. When you add to that the fact that she has recently broken up with a long-term partner, you can understand that Maddie's probably not in a very good emotional place. Things start to happen in Maddie's life at the same time. So her best friend is getting her divorce, their other best friend is getting married and wants Maddie to plan the wedding. As a friend, free wedding planner, who doesn't want that? Her friends all seem to take her for granted, her family put down her job and insinuate, well, actually come right out and say that the job that she does isn't really important, she's not saving lives, she's not having a family. They seem to imply that because she's going for a career that they seem to think is quite frivolous, that she is a selfish person. I do almost relate to that because the job that I have, not a lot of people understand what it is that I do and tend to say things like, well, it can't be that stressful, you're sat down at a desk all day. I do a lot of travelling, I have to do a lot of reading and a lot of problem solving and thinking on my feet, so I do identify with Maddie's predicament. It just seems like everyone puts her down, and because everyone's been putting her down, she starts to believe it herself and feels that she's not good enough, so she doesn't go for job opportunities that come up, she doesn't go for promotions, and when she does feel that she can apply for things, she feels like she has to keep it secret and keep it close to her chest because she doesn't want people to think that she's getting ahead of herself or being selfish. As it's a chick lit book, there is a romance and a love on the horizon, and I think you can tell probably from the beginning of the book who it is that she's actually going to end up with. There is a certain formula to a lot of these books where the first person that the heroine starts to go out with out to be a bit of a knob and ends up breaking the poor girl's heart, and then she realises that the person who has been there all the way through the book is actually the one for her and is a lot nicer than they realised, and that they do love them. There is a little bit of predictability about the book, but that's why you get one of these books. You get chick lit books because you want to read something that's light and humorous and easy to read. I think this is a really good book if you're going on holiday, or even if you just want to have a chilled out weekend and read something nice. I would recommend this book. It's really funny. There's so many fabulous characters in there that you can identify from your own lives. And another thing that I love about it is that the brother of the main character, Maddie, is actually the love interest from another one of Lindsay Kellock's books, A Single Girl's To-Do List. And I have been wanting to find out what happens with Rachel and Dan from A Single Girls To-Do List. For years I have been tweeting and begging, please do another Redhead Rachel book. I feel a little bit like it's okay. I know how it turns out, but I don't know. I think it's still open for another book. If you're looking for a good read, get it. I've got the book, I've got the Kindle, and I also ended up with another copy of the book because I got a little bit too enthusiastic in the pre-ordering. So I ended up with 2 copies, which I handed over one to one of my friends at work. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and give this a thumbs up. Cheerio!